Hello and welcome to my channel, Billboardsbuilds. I'm Chid, aka Billboard, and this is my channel. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. Make sure you flip that thumbs up like a hitchhiker. Like, share, and subscribe. This is my first video in a while. As a lot of you may know, on July 10th, I had, was it July 10th? Well, no, June 10th. I had major foot surgery on my foot. They straightened my foot. They realigned my ankle, realigned the foot under my leg. I have a big giant erector set or external fixator as they call it, with all kinds of rods and pins holding everything in place. And that stays on for like two and a half months. And then when that comes off, my foot goes into a cast, and I have a total of 6 months non-weight bearing on my left leg. Once the erector set comes off with the cast, I might be able to get around a little better, but until then, it is what it is. I'm kind of stuck in solitary confinement here in the bedroom, so I haven't really been able to do any model building sitting here. I'm supposed to, I just saw the doctor 2 weeks ago, or the week before last, on a Thursday, and there was an infection in the incision on the side of my foot. The doctor said he's doing everything he can to save this foot. He's got me on 2 different antibiotics, Augmentin and lexofloxacin, whatever it is, and he debrided some dead skin, took the stitches out of the side. There's a big opening on the side. He scraped out infection, and the wound is getting packed 3 times a week. I go back to him this Thursday. He took cultures. I got the results back, and there's no staph, there's no this. There's several different bacteria they found in there, and hopefully the antibiotics I'm on is gonna work. He had said that maybe I'd have to go back to the hospital for IV antibiotics, and since they got the results back, I haven't heard anything from him, so I guess that's a good thing. And he wants to keep the erector set on my foot as long as possible, because that's going to hold my foot in place. So that's enough about that. I just wanted to give you a heads up of what's going on, because everyone keeps asking me. I have good days and bad days with pain. Some days the foot hurts more than others. Most of the time it doesn't really hurt much, but at night when I try to sleep and have my foot up in the air, it hurts. I'm supposed to get a lot of rest and keep my foot up. So today's video is I wanted to answer a community question that was posed by Tiffany at Dirt Road Cinderella. Make sure you go check out her channel. And it's a type of vehicle that you've grown to appreciate, and why, how, all that. I don't know exactly how she put it, but it's something you learn to appreciate, whether it's scale models or one-to-one. And so I got a story to go with that. But before we do that, let's mention my 3 sponsors. They've been great for my channel. They've helped me out. Spray Gunner. Their link is in the description. Make sure you check them out for all your airbrushing needs. It's where I get a lot of stuff from. Spray Gunner. Carry all the Createx paints. The A-stand A-stand paints from MIG. And they have all the supplies you need for airbrushing. They also get into Warhammer, and they have some model kits. I think they carry the Alpha line of model kits and something else. So go check out Spray Gunner. And they ship really fast. And they also carry airbrushing magazines and stuff. And if you're into Warhammer, they got all that. Secondly, Scale Finishes. Great paints, as it says, from the bottle to the model. They're ready to spray paints. They have gloss enamels and base coats. I prefer the base coats, just because I don't have a dehydrator, and enamels can take longer to dry, but the gloss enamel, when it is dry, it's a beautiful paint. And I don't think their gloss enamels need any clear coat. They're so shiny. He has House of Colors. He has pearls, metallics, candies. If you want a automotive specific paint, he has that. By the year and manufacturer. Same with racing paints. He has all the different NASCAR colors. He has all the different types of racing colors. Like if you want to build a Sox and Martin, he has a kit that has all 3 colors that Sox and Martin used. The Wimbledon white, a blue, and a red, that are the correct colors for Sox and Martin's cars, and so forth. So go check out Scale Finishes, and if you use Billboards 10, you'll get 10 off your order. That's Scale Finishes. He also has supplies and stuff, and if you don't see a paint you want, you just email Jameston, and he should be able to mix it up for you. And they're automotive grade paints, and they lay down beautifully. And he has clear coats. I like the Honey Clear. He also has 2K, and he has 500. So go check out Scale Finishes. Gallery Airbrush, and that's the airbrush I use. I have I probably have 11 airbrushes now from Gallery. I also have a couple Posh. But I have all the airbrushes I use are basically Gallery airbrushes. The Swallowtail, the TG, the GHADs, the GHACs. I use different ones for different things. I have them with different needle sizes in them. My favorite is the Swallowtail with the 0.5 and a fan cap for doing the bodies. And the GHAD 98 and 39 are my 2 go-to airbrushes for everything else. The Mobius 0.2 I use for fine details, and I use it for the chrome paints. So Gallery also has Kaleido paints, which is a acrylic paint that lays down like a lacquer. It's a beautiful paint, and when I'm able to get out of the room and get into the living room area, I'm gonna do some airbrushing in there. I have a second spray booth that I bought just so I can do that. And when I do that, because I'll be in the main house and not in my back hobby room, I'll be using more of the Kaleido paints, just because I don't want the fumes in the house. But I have used them, and they lay down beautiful. And my favorite of the Kaleido paints is the titanium black for the chassis. It's a beautiful color for a chassis. And they have the transparent colors, which are not a true candy, but you can get a candy effect with them if you do it right. If you put too many coats, you're gonna get away from the candy effect. But as long as you don't oversaturate the coats, you'll get a candy effect with the transparent paints, and they look beautiful. So, and if you use Billboardsbuilds at Gallery, you'll get 10 off your order. That's Billboardsbuilds at Gallery Airbrush. Oh, and check out their metallic marker set. I use them all the time for everything, for detailing and highlighting and stuff. And they make great products, and their customer service is second to none. I had a couple issues with airbrushes, and they took care of me, and they were my fault, but they helped me out. So that's Gallery Airbrush, Billboardsbuilds, 10 off. Wow, I'm already 9 minutes into this, and I haven't even talked about the main subject. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of backstory, then I'll get into what I learned to appreciate. First off, I have the past year appreciated more of the European sports cars and the rally cars. Something I never really cared much about, but after building a couple in group builds, the Porsches are pretty cool and stuff. So, and the Lancia rally car I built, so I got an appreciation for them that I never had before. I still don't like JDM or any of that stuff. I can't stand tuners. I can't stand those donk vehicles. I think that's stupid. Same with the pickup trucks where the back end is really low and the front end is really jacked up high. And don't get me started on really tall rims with rubber bands for tires. But I was born in '67. So early 70s, my family started taking me, my mother, my stepfather, my two younger sisters. We used to go to Englishtown Raceway Park all the time because I grew up, say, at least maybe 30 minutes from the track, maybe a little bit further, and we used to go there a lot. We knew a lot of people that raced there. So I spent my youth growing up around the drag strip and HRA quarter mile. So that's my background, is that. And a lot of people we knew ran Mopars. And I used to own a 71 Dodge Demon with a 440. So that's the Cuda is my all-time favorite car. But I loved my Dodge Demon. I had a lot of fun with that car. So I grew up on an HRA. Occasionally I got to watch some NASCAR races, but NASCAR in the 70s was not like it is today with all the coverage that you have, at least not in the Northeast. You may get the Daytona 500 and stuff like that, but you didn't get as much coverage as you do now. Most of it you saw on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I did like Richard Petty, so I was always a big fan of Richard Petty's growing up. But I wasn't until the 80s that I really got into NASCAR and started watching all the races, and I was a big fan of Rusty Wallace's. So, but the one thing I never really got into was IndyCar. I would watch the Indy 500 from time to time, but I was never into IndyCar. I don't know, something about the cars, they looked funny to me, and I never understood it because it reminded me of the other one, Formula One, but similar but different. So, auto racing, I've been to 3 milestones, or I consider them milestones. I was at the Summer Nationals in '86 when Garlitz had his blowover. I was sitting on the spectator side, or the Garlitz side. I was 86. I was 19 at the time. He went past us. His wheels were 45 degrees off the ground, and watched him. The car went up, pirouetted, came back down, and then went past us and then pulled into the grass. So I was there for that. Like I said, we had some friends that raced there. One of my stepfather's buddies owned an auto body shop, a repair shop, and a small car dealership. He raced brackets at Englishtown. He used to run a '65 super stock Plymouth with a 426 Hemi back in the '60s. Super stock or pro stock. I think it was super stock class at the time. And he told me one time that he'd never run another Hemi again after his experience with him, because he spent more time retorquing everything than racing. So that was, and so he gave us the tickets to the Summer Nationals because he was supplying the wreckers for or the flatbed for record duty that weekend, and it was his flatbed that they picked up Garlitz's dragster with and brought it back to the pits. It was about 15 minutes after the incident. You saw Garlitz's trailer leaving behind the stands, leaving the track. So that was one milestone. Another milestone for me, I was at the Dover International Racetrack in September of 95, and it was Kyle Petty's final victory in NASCAR. I was there to witness that. So now to what I've grown to appreciate. In the late 80s and 90s, I worked for Dana Transport, the Hall Chemicals. I was a mechanic, and then I became the parts manager. It was chemical trailers, and it was a wash rack repair facility. And one of the guys, we ended up having a gasoline division that hauled gas to the gas stations. And the person who ran the gas division was telling me how he knew Roger Penske, and that he was speccing out several new Peterbilts through Penske. And so I said to him one day, I said, so, Roger Penske, maybe you can get me tickets to the race. And I'm thinking Pocono or Dover. I did not know at the time that Roger Penske owned Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania. I'm thinking NASCAR, Rusty Wallace, Roger Penske, maybe I can get NASCAR tickets. I used to go to Pocono when I'd get free tickets because I did not like being at Pocono for the race, but I did enjoy it on TV. It's one of my favorite tracks, but not in person. But if I got to go for free, and that's where I went on a pit walk and got to talk with some of Rusty's crew members at the time. So, and Dover, I used to go twice a year to both, two races they'd have there. I always loved Dover. 1 mile track, great view from wherever you sat. That was my favorite track to go to. So he comes in, he goes, I got you some tickets. He hands them to me. He goes, but I couldn't get you NASCAR. Here, it's for IndyCar. I'm like, okay. Like I said, I wasn't into IndyCar. I had no idea anything about IndyCar. It was for Nazareth Speedway in Pennsylvania. It was September of 94. It was Mario Andretti's Arrivederci Tour. It was his final season. And Nazareth was his home track. So my buddy and I went there. We had pit passes. So we went and we spent most of the time walking around the pits. Saw them working on the cars. Saw engines sitting around. The race was going on. Wasn't really watching the race. We're more interested in everything going on in the pits. Then I had my 35mm camera trying to take pictures from the infield, sitting on the grass by the guardrail, or standing on the grass by the guardrail. And when I got the roll developed, all I got was either the nose of a car, the tail of a car, or blank roadway. Cars were going so fast, all you saw were colors. I got to appreciate IndyCar that day because of how fast they were going. You couldn't. All it looked like was colored blurs going past you. Small oval track. I think the cars were going over 200 miles an hour. And it really impressed me. So that's where I got my appreciation for IndyCar. We left the pit area, and we were walking to our seats, but there was a Mario Andretti simulator. We went in that. It was like a container on hydraulics and stuff, and a bunch of people sat in it. You're in these IndyCar seats, and you're watching a video or movie theater type thing. And if the car turned to the left, you'd go flying to the left. If the car turned to the right, you'd go flying to the right. And when you thought it was all over, Mario Andretti yelled Arrivederci, peeled out, and you shot back in your seat. It was fun. We got out of there. We're like, all right. John goes, yeah, let's go check out our seats. Let's see what they're like, where we're sitting. So as we're walking, I see all these people walking the other way, and I could hear the sound of the cars going around the track, but it sounds like they're slowing down. I go, John, I think the race is over. Penske came in 1, 2, and 3. I think it was Paul Tracy, Al Unser Jr., and Emerson Fittipaldi. So I never did see what the seats were like. Never got to sit in the grandstands for it, but every year I watch the Indy 500, and this year I try to watch every Indy race I get to because now I appreciate that type of racing. I do remember when Indy and kart split, and Indy race with no name drivers was a great race, and I think it was Michigan was kart, and they crashed on the first couple of laps, and it had, like, most of the field was wrecked. So, and plus, being a member of Salvino's JR Models Kid of the Month Club, and we have our Tuesday club meeting, and we talk IndyCar and NASCAR, and so yeah, I'm into both. I still prefer NASCAR before they did the rule changes. I still don't like any playoff situation with it, but the same with NHRA. I don't watch as much NHRA as I used to because I don't like the playoff structure. That's just me. I also can't stand the stages. If they got rid of, if they wanted to give points for the stages, at least don't stop the race and throw a yellow flag. Just give the points to whoever's leading on that lap, and keep the race going, because the race starts getting good and then they have to throw a caution. The race starts getting good, they throw a caution. That's not racing. So that's just me. But yeah, so I hope that answered, Tiffany, I hope that answered your question. And I hope everyone has a good day, and I'll try to upload videos as often as I can. But until then, God bless. I'm out.